Hi, this is David McCann for WebTNG. In this video, I want to look at Userback. Userback is a platform for getting website feedback. I'm going to do a walkthrough and then look at 3 different ways you can use it with your WordPress websites. In case you're not familiar with Userback, it's a website feedback platform that allows users to draw on, annotate, and rate any live or development website. You can assign user and client permissions, create categories to tag feedback, and it has integrations with several popular project management platforms. I found that though it is straightforward and simple, it's pretty powerful but easy to use. Okay, let's take a look at the Userback Dashboard. Once you finish signing up, you end up in the back end of Userback, and you're guided through a wizard to create your first project. As you can see, I've already created a couple for 2 of my websites. So in addition to the projects menu, there's a people menu where you manage the team members and can assign them to projects. There's an extension option here, which we'll get to in a few minutes, which is related to the Chrome and Firefox extensions. There's a help link that takes you into their knowledge base, and then your account information is under this menu item. So to go back to projects, what I found is that there are at least 3 different ways that you can use Userback. And so I'm going to create or demonstrate 3 different projects or ways of doing that. So the first way of using Userback that I found, I'm going to call Open Access. This is where anyone who comes to the website can leave feedback, and the types of feedback they can leave are pretty extensive. So let's demonstrate that by creating a new project. This is actually going to be on a live website for this demonstration. But normally, I think you would use this type of open access on a development site where you're getting feedback from the team, and I'll show that in a minute. But my site is live, and so we're just going to call this Demo Zone, and we'll put in the URL to the site. Now you see there are different categories of feedback, and you can totally customize this and create your own categories. And then there's this section for user access. For the type of project I'm going to show now, this setting I think only relates to who can see the back end here results. For some of the other types of projects, this might have more relevance. Okay, so let's go ahead. Once you're in the project, you've created the project, I wanted to point out that there's another menu here, a projects menu. Right now we're on settings, but let's take a quick look at the other menu items on here just to know what's here. Overview gives you a summary of the current status. Feedback shows any feedback that's been collected so far. We don't have any yet. Insights is going to give us some stats, such as when it was received, maybe some information about the user, like the browser and their location. Notifications is where we set up email notifications if we had more users. And I think they would show in here, and you could turn on notifications for different types of events. We'll come back to that later. Integrations shows the different types of project management integrations that Userback has built in. In addition to these, there's also the option here to send a JSON object, which would allow you to integrate Userback with your own system. If you have a developer, you could integrate it with your own system using the JavaScript API. And then there's a WordPress plugin, which they recently updated it, but I had trouble getting this to work, so I'm not going to use the plugin in my examples, but I'll show what it looks like and you can try it out, and if it works for you, then that might save you a step or two. Finally, there are the settings. So we're back. This is back where we get once you've created the project. So we're going to have a button, and just to keep it simple, we'll say feedback. But as you can see, it's possible to customize that phrase, and you can change the text and button color. Now, there are going to be two parts to this type of interaction. One is the user widget here, and then there's a drawing section as well. So on this, you have a welcome message that is basically a question that you're asking. You can choose your language. You can see there are several to choose from. You can choose if you want emojis, which I kind of like, stars, or hearts, or you can turn the rating off. I kind of like emojis myself. Then you can collect the email address and the comment. If you want to, you can collect also their name, and these toggles here are whether or not it's mandatory. And then the comment with the option for a screenshot. This will email the user feedback when there is feedback or a response. Then you can turn on categories if you want. So if you're working with a team and you want them to select categories, then there's that option. You can let people view other people's feedback, which for this type of project, I'm going to go ahead and allow, and I'll allow an attachment. We will not auto hide for the API, and we will white label it by removing the Userback branding on there. Then we choose where we want it to show, and I'm going to have it show on the side here, and we save it. Next, we're given the JavaScript that we need to add to our website. So I'm going to copy that out and then go to the website that we're going to be using, this demo website, and go into the dashboard. Now, there are dozens of different ways to add a snippet of code. The way I'm going to use is this snippets program here, and just add in the script here. There are other ways you can do it as well if you want to. And that's up to you, and it may depend on the theme you're using and other things as well. Okay. Okay, so I've logged out of the admin and gone to the home page, and now we see this feedback button here. I'm sure you've seen that on other websites before, and now we know where it comes from. I'm not logged into anything. This is just open access, as I say. So I think you'd probably use this on a development or staging site, not on a live website open to everyone, because there's a great deal of feedback that can be entered here. You notice when I open it up, not only do we get this widget as we customized it on the back end, we also get this draw on the screen option. So here we can draw and annotate. So let's do that. I'm going to give some feedback here. Odd looking eyes. Here it is again. Okay, here's a little problematic thing here. Looks like a video player, but isn't one. Okay. And now let's just give some overall text here. Like the colors and overall feel. Fix these few things. And then we'll add our name. We'll select a category. We're going to say improvement. Check the notes. I want to receive feedback, and I send it in. So now let's go back to Userback. Let's go now and look at our projects. Do a refresh here. We've gotten one bit of feedback. I forgot to rate it. So let's take a look at the feedback. Check the notes. And here are the notes. 1, odd looking eyes. 2, 3, like the colors on feel, fix these few things. And there. Okay, so let's give the reply. We can decide if it's a public comment or internal comment. All right, now let's go back to the website, refresh it, take a look at our feedback, and now we can view the feedback that other team members have put in. Okay? Okay, so that's the first way that I've seen to use Userback, which is to get feedback from the team or maybe from a client. Use it on a local site or a staging site, something not live, where you're going to get lots of feedback. You can draw on the screen and leave notes and everything. Now, the second way I've seen to use this is what I'm going to call private access. And this involves using the browser extension. So let's walk through that. Remember, for the first test, we added some JavaScript snippet of code, and we're not going to need that anymore. So let's go disable that. Let's deactivate it. Okay, so we basically removed that JavaScript code now from our demo site. Okay, let's clear the cache and now go to the home page. We'll refresh this. You notice the widget's gone now. Okay, it's been removed. Let's go back to Userback now, and we're going to use this extension method. Let's download and install the Chrome extension. Now, we go down here and we are going to turn on for our demo zone domain. And it looks like we're going to need to paste this into the Chrome extension settings. Put in our account key. So let's go back to the demo website now. Let's refresh. And we see we have our feedback widget and draw on screen. However, this is not available to the public. This is only available to users who have the Userback extension and are in the list for the project. So this is the way that you can get feedback on a live site with lots of traffic without exposing the feedback widget and the drawing on the screen functionality to everyday visitors. When I first started this video, I skipped the WordPress plugin because it didn't look like it had been updated in a while. You find the WordPress plugin in the integrations menu, and if you scroll down to the bottom, it's here. You download it and install it in your WordPress site in the normal manner. Once installed and activated, you get a menu here, and you have the option to show Userback just to logged in users. This is another way that you can make the feedback functionality private to just a select group. And as you can see in this screen view, you can enter your widget code here, and you can select which type of posts or pages you want to allow feedback on. As I mentioned, I had trouble getting the plugin to work. I put my code in here, but I had trouble getting it to accept it. It could be that the plugin needs a little work or something, but you can use it without the plugin, or maybe by the time you try this out, they'll have it working. Now, the last method I'm going to look at is to use Userback as a faux or fake contact form. And this is pretty cool. I was pretty happy to figure this out. Let's show how that works. So for this third method, we're going to go back to using the JavaScript snippet. I'm going to turn off this private method, and let's go back to the website. You see it's there. We refresh. It's gone now because the private method is turned off, and we're going to have to re-enable now our JavaScript snippet and change and activate. Okay, so this is kind of a little secret, or I'm not sure how well documented it is, but anyway, what we're going to do now, you see we've turned this back on, but we don't want to use this. In order to limit the feature of the feedback form, we're going to have to not use the widget button and instead open the widget with our own JavaScript. So in this example, I'm going to add a menu item. You could add a button in your sidebar or something like that, however you wanted to do it. So, but for this example, I'm going to use a menu. So let's go to menus. And you see this menu I've got set up. I'm going to add a custom link. It's going to make me fill this out. Let's see. We'll do contact. I think I can remove that part later. All right. So now we can save that. Now let's go to the front end. We can see we have our menu. We're going to need the ID of that. This is some jQuery Kung Fu. It's not too hard, but it is a little advanced. So we see the menu item is number 32. We're going to grab that. And now I've got a snippet of JavaScript code. And we're going to go back and paste that in. So we're going to paste that in here. We will clone this one and edit it. Here we're going to call this the Userback trigger. And we're going to add our JavaScript snippet in. And so this is some jQuery here. And basically we're saying when the document is loaded, we're going to bind to menu item 32, click event, open the form. Now, Userback has actually 3 options you can put in here. You can use open, which opens the normal widget. You can do open form, which opens the form without the drawing tool. Or you can use open capture, which opens the drawing tool directly. For our example, we're going to do open form. We're going to save and activate that. Now, one thing we're going to need to do before we're done is we're going to need to modify and customize the widget for this contact form type of use. So let's go back to Userback into our project. We're going to edit the widget, and the key here is to turn on this auto hide for API so it won't show automatically. And we're going to do a few other things here just to make the widget seem more like a contact form. And we'll change this welcome message to leave your comment or question. And if we want to here, we can turn off the rating. We can turn off the category, we can turn off receive updates and view other feedback. So this looks like a simple kind of contact form. Now let's go back to our website. We will clear the cache, go to the home page. We don't see the widget anymore because we've turned off that automatic showing. It has to be shown through the API. We see now if we click on our new menu item, we get our contact form. We can attach a screenshot or a file if we want to, and that's pretty cool. Of course, if you're using the widget as a contact form, you want to be notified when someone leaves a comment or asks a question. And that's totally possible with Userback. If we go back to the project, there's an option here for notifications. And we'll just turn on the notification for when feedback is created, and then an email will be sent telling you that someone's left a comment. I really like Userback. I found that it's pretty flexible, and I found 3 uses right off. The team mode, getting feedback from team members or clients, the private mode for live websites, and even this contact form usage. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching.